All right, we are here for week 4. Week 4 is repopulate. So hopefully the last 3 weeks have gone well. You're continuing to feel good. You've been removing foods, you've been replacing with your enzymes, and now we're going to talk about repopulating. And what that means really is you've taken out what's not working, you're putting back in what your body needs more of, but there's still going to be an imbalance in the gut. And a lot of that comes from the way we eat, medications, all of those things can really wipe out the flora and the bacteria in our gut. And believe it or not, we want bacteria in our guts. We just need it to be good, and we need the good bacteria to be strong enough to keep everything balanced. I always describe your immune system is based in your gut. 80% of your immune system is based in your gut. And I say that gut health and immune health and autoimmune protocols are all about balancing. So I always picture these scales in my gut, and it's all, or juggling. It's all about trying to calm and stay balanced. Otherwise, it's constantly lopsided, and your body's always trying to adjust and fix. So if you can get it calm, then it can rest, and when it can rest, it can heal. So you want to put back in the bacteria that you need to calm and balance your system now. And that's where probiotics come in. Now, probiotics and prebiotics are essential for repopulating the bacteria and the flora in your gut, which is really needed for balance. There are thousands of options on the market. Really take a look. You want to make sure you understand the strains, and which, some strains are meant to build balance. Some are meant to help with people that are taking antibiotics and medications, because that can really zap the bacteria in your gut. The idea here is that it's trying to rebalance the bacteria in your digestive system. So to start with, a very basic one is okay, or you can get more detailed. I personally have you guys starting with this one, and I recommend this one because it's got a technology in it called LiveBack, which allows it to stay out on the counter. And if I'm being honest, most people that start the idea of probiotics is they're way on board with it, but they put it in the fridge and then they forget about it. So these can stay out with your actual vitamins or any of your supplements. It can sit by your coffee, whatever you need in order to help it be part of your day to day. It has 10 million strains of bacteria. It has all of the ingredients that you're looking for. And really, besides replacing the bacteria in your gut, there's a lot of really beneficial components to adding in a probiotic. It can help with managing allergies. It can help support, allergies, but like eczema, skin conditions that can happen, and that's usually a result of an imbalance. Definitely, if you have any autoimmune responses at all, it can help support those, because again, it's calming the immune system. And it helps to create a bit of a baseline for your stomach moving forward, and your gut, your overall digestion. So probiotics are great. I mean, you can eat, there's a ton of foods that are really good for eating, both pro and prebiotic, and I've included a few of them on the in the lessons. From a prebiotic, that's sort of helping, that's giving the gut the bacteria to help to eat and help process foods. Things like onions and garlic and leek, asparagus, things like that are really chock full of probiotics. So they're good to eat a lot of. The challenge is that probiotic is, you need more of it, and it's harder to get as much as you need through just food. But probiotic is, really about helping with the bacteria that helps with digestion. And so with that, you've got, a lot of the fermented foods like sauerkraut, a lot of the Asian foods like kimchi, kombucha, even yogurt, if you're able to have dairy, can have a lot of benefits with probiotics. But I will tell you, a lot of people say to me, oh, I don't need probiotics, I have yogurt every day. I can tell you that you need like a case of yogurt to get the amount of probiotics in your gut that would give you the same benefit as a supplement. So adding a probiotic supplement, to me, is a much easier way, and you're getting all of the strains that you need to get for the proper balance, and you're not consuming a bunch of dairy, which can often be a trigger for a lot of us. So that's really about repopulating, making sure that now that you've started to clean it out, you've started to heal it, now you can stabilize it. The whole goal here is to move through the process so that at the end you are strong, you are stable, and you are healed. And then you can maintain that. Okay? So we're going to talk about when the 5 factors this week is about stress. So go ahead, roll your eyes. Everyone has stress. Everyone groans. And I'm surprised at how many people I talk to say, well, yeah, I'm stressed, but isn't everybody? It's not untrue, but it doesn't mean that you should just accept it, because it doesn't have to be accepted. Stress doesn't have to have control. You can learn to control a lot of the impacts of stress. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control what you do with it. Okay? So I want you to take a look at the lessons that I sent through about how stress can impact digestive health. Okay? So you can see there it's talking about physical, environmental, physiological, sociological, and biological. So different ways that stress can impact the digestion. I want you to take some time and write down the stressors that you have in your life. In those categories, certain ones that you know for sure could be a stressful relationship, could be work, could be family member sick, could be you're stuck in your house for 2 years with pandemic and you feel like you're not okay anymore. There's no right or wrong. This is about you acknowledging what your stressors are. And no one's going to see this. So write down what's real. Write down if being stuck at home with your family for 2 years is driving you crazy. It doesn't mean you don't love your family. It just means that you haven't had the break that you need, or you haven't had any alone time. Don't feel bad if the stressors are that you're eating foods that you know aren't good for you, but you've been really stressed out and that's a trigger right now. That's okay. This is not about shame. This is about truth. You need to write down what's actually happening, and that is how you can look back and reflect at what changes you might want to be making and what things might be contributing that you hadn't thought of. Okay? So spend some time thinking about what your stressors are, not beating yourself up for them, but being aware of them. So that when you get a handle on what the stressors are, then you can start coming up with an action plan of what to do with them. And it could be seeing a therapist. It could be meditation. It could be cutting out a relationship. There's 1,000 things that you can do to manage it, but you're not going to take those steps unless you can actually sit down and say, these are the things that are triggering me, that are causing me stress right now. These are my stressors. I can also tell you from my own experience, and so far with everyone that I've worked with, coached, friends of mine, family, I've yet to find anyone who doesn't say that stress absolutely contributes to them feeling worse. It adds to inflammation, it adds to digestive upset. There's nothing positive about stress. Now, I know there can be good stress, and that can be, positive energy. That's different. I'm talking about things that are frustrating and hard for you that you don't necessarily have the ability to change or do something about, or it's bigger than that. It can cause short-term issues. It can cause long-term issues. It can definitely cause digestive issues. But it will lead to more and more challenges if you don't get it under control. So a big part of stress management is recognizing the stress, triggers, and stressors, and then coming up with a plan to manage that. So sometimes this one can be stressful because I don't know about you, but I'll tell you, one of the most annoying things to me that I've heard from doctors before is, oh, you're feeling that way because it's because of stress. So you're telling me that I feel like crap because I'm not managing my stress, which really just adds more stress, that I'm not effectively managing my stress. So what do you want me to do with that? So if that's what you're feeling, acknowledge that is legit, but also, you can't control the stress. You can just make changes and choices around how you're going to handle what's triggering you. So some of that's going to be, like I said, meditation. That can be their supplements. That can be really helpful with supporting it. CBD can be really big to support if that's something that you've looked at or are interested in looking at. Like I said, therapy can be a really big one. Meditation works sometimes. It really depends on what works for you. Sometimes it can be changing those relationships or having conversations that you need to have with people in those relationships. So there's no right or wrong on this one. It's just about acknowledging and having a plan in place so that moving forward, it doesn't continue to have the same effect on you over and over again. So this might have been a bit of a heavier week. keep going, hang in there. You're doing a great job, and we're going to reconnect again next week where we're now sort of, we've gone to the top of the hill and now we're going to start coming in and we should be feeling better and better each step of the way.